Here at the gates the king arrives to claim his long forgotten gold.
We hobbits are a plain, quiet folk, and I have no use for adventures.
What are all these dwarves doing in Hobbiton?
They've come for tea.
And supper. We shall soon start on our long journey, from which some, or all of us, may never return.
Sorry. Never return?
The dwarves and the elves live in peace. The men thrive and multiply and build a civilization. The prophecies of old have come true.
Now call we over mountain cold to look
Goblins are upon us!
into the heavens old. Here at the gates the king arrives to claim his long forgotten gold.
You're a very fine person, Mr. Baggins, and I'm very fond of you.
The Canmore Summer Theatre Festival cast and crew acknowledge that this production was created on Treaty 7 territory, which is the traditional territory of the Blackfoot Confederacy, the Tsuut'ina Nation, and the Stoney Nakoda Nation, and in Métis Region 3. We are grateful to have the opportunity to create in a place that has seen storytelling, dance, and the sharing of culture by its original inhabitants and their descendants for thousands of years.
I'm gonna be late.
What? Why am I seeing brake lights? There's no one in front of... He's passing you in the right lane! BC plates. Yeah, saw that coming.
I learn in this letter that Don Pedro of Aragon comes this night to Messina.
He is very near by this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
How many gentlemen have you lost in this action?
But few of any sort, and none of the name.
A victory is twice itself when the achiever brings home full numbers. I find here that Don Pedro hath bestowed much honor on a young Florentine called Claudio.
Much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself beyond the promise of his age, doing in the figure of a lamb and the feats of a lion. He hath indeed bettered expectation than you must expect of me to tell you how.
I pray you, is Senor Mountanto returned from the wars or no?
I know none of that name, lady. There was none such in the army of any sort.
What is he that you ask for, niece?
My cousin means Signor Benedick of Padua.
Oh, he's returned, and pleasant as he ever was.
I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten in these wars? But how many hath he killed? For indeed, I promise to eat all his killing.
Faith, niece, you tax Senior Benedick too much. But he'll be meet with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service in these wars, and a good soldier too, lady.
And a good soldier to a lady. What is he to a lord?
Well, a lord to a lord, a man to a man, stuffed with all honorable virtues.
It is so indeed. He is no less than a stuffed man, but for the stuffing. Well, we are all mortal.
You must not, sir, mistake my niece. There is a kind of merry war betwixt Senior Benedick and her. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them.
Alas, he gets nothing by that. In our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went halting off, and now is the whole man governed with 1. So that if he have wit enough to keep himself warm, let him bear it for a difference between himself and his whores, for it is the only wealth he hath left to be known a reasonable creature. Who is his companion now? He hath every month a new sworn brother.
I see, lady, the gentleman is not in your books.
No, and he were, I would burn my study. But, I pray you, who is his companion? Is there no young squarer now that will make a voyage with him to the devil?
He is most in the company of the right noble Claudio.
Oh, Lord. He will hang upon him like a disease. He is sooner caught than the pestilence, and the taker runs presently mad. God help the noble Claudio. If he have caught the Benedick, it will cost him £1,000 ere be cured.
I will hold friends with you, lady.
Do, good friend.
Don Pedro has approached.
Good Senor Leonato, you are come to meet your trouble? The fashion of the world is to avoid cost, and you encounter it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace. For trouble being gone, comfort should remain. But when you depart from me, sorrow abides, and happiness takes his leave.
You embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter.
Her mother hath many times told me so.
Were you in doubt, sir, that you asked her?
Senior Benedick, no, for then were you a child.
You have it full, Benedick. We may guess by this what you are, being a man. Truly, the lady fathers herself. Be happy, lady, for you are like an honorable father.
If Senior Leonato be her father, she would not have his head on her shoulders for all Messina as like him as she is.
I wonder that you would still be talking, Signor Benedick. Nobody marks you.
What, my dear Lady Disdain, are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die while she hath such meat food to feed it as Signor Benedick? The courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
Then courtesy is a turncoat. But it is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted. And I would I could find it in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
A dear happiness to women. They would else have been troubled with a pernicious suitor. I thank God in my cold blood. I'm of your humor for that. I'd rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
God keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall scape a predestinate scratched face.
Scratching could not make it worse than 'twere such a face as yours were.
Well, you are a rare parrot, teacher.
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
I would my horse had the speed of your tongue, and so good a continuer, but keep your way, O God's name, I have done.
You always end with a jade's trick. I know you of old.
That is the sum of all, Leonato. Good Senor Claudio and Senor Benedick, my dear friend Leonato hath invited you all. I tell him we shall stay here at the least a month, and he heartily prays some occasion may detain us longer.
Let me bid you welcome, my lord, being reconciled to the prince, your brother. I owe you all duty.
I thank you. I'm not of many words, but I thank you.
Please it, your grace. Lead on.
Your hand, Leonato. We will go together.
Benedick, didst thou know the daughter of Signor Leonato?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Why, if faith, methinks she is too low for a high praise, too bland for a fair praise, and too little for a great praise. Only this commendation can I afford her, that were she other than she is, she were unhandsome. But being no other but as she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I am in sport. I pray thee, tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her that you inquire after her?
Could the world buy such a jewel?
Yea, and a case to put it into. But speak you this with a sad brow. Come, and what key shall man take you to go on the song?
In mine eye, she's the sweetest lady that ever I looked on.
I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There is her cousin, and were she not possessed with a fury exceeds her as much in beauty as the 1st of May doth the last of December. But I hope you have no intent to turn husband. Have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary if Hero would be my wife.
It's come to this. Shall I never see a bachelor of 80 again? Go to, if faith, and thou wilt needs thrust thy neck into a yoke and wear the print of it and sigh away Sundays. Look, Don Pedro is returned to seek you.
And what secret hath held you here that you followed not to Leonato's?
I would your grace would constrain me to tell.
I charge thee on thy allegiance.
You hear, Count Claudio? I can be as secret as a dumb man. I would have you think so, but on my allegiance. Mark you this, on my allegiance. He is in love. With who? Now that is your grace's part. Mark how short his answer is. With Hero, Leonato's short daughter.
Amen, if you love her, for the lady is very well worthy.
You speak this to fetch me in, my lord.
By my troth, I speak my thought.
And in faith, my lord, I spoke mine.
And by my 2 faiths and troths, my lord, I spoke mine.
That I love her, I feel.
Well, that she is worthy, I know.
That I neither feel how she should be loved, nor know how she should be worthy, is the opinion that fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake.
Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty.
And never could maintain his part, but in the force of his will.
That a woman conceived me, I thank her. That she brought me up, I likewise give her most humble thanks. But that I will hang my bugle in an invisible baldric, all women shall pardon me, because I will not do them the wrong to mistrust any. I will do myself the right to trust none. And the fine is, for which I may go the finer, I will live a bachelor.
I shall see thee ere I die look pale with love.
With anger, with sickness, or with hunger, my lord, not with love. Prove that ever I lose more blood with love than I get again with drinking. Pick up mine eyes with a ballad maker's pen and hang me up at the door of a brothel house for the sign of blind Cupid.
Well, if ever thou dost fall from this faith, thou wilt prove a notable argument.
If I do, hang me in a bottle like a cat and shoot at me.
Well, as time shall try. In time the savage bull doth bear the yoke.
The savage bull may, but if ever the sensible Benedick bear it, pluck off the bull's horns, set them in my forehead, and let me be vilely painted, and in such great letters as they write, here is a good horse to hire, let them signify under my sign, here you may see Benedick, the married man.
If this should ever happen, thou wouldst be horn mad.
Nay, if Cupid have not spent all his quiver in Venice, thou wilt quake for this shortly.
I will look for an earthquake too then.
Well, you temporize with the hours. In the meantime, good Senor Benedick, repair to Leonato's and commend me to him, and tell him I will not fail him at supper. For indeed, he hath made great preparation.
I have almost manner enough in me for such an embassage, and so I commit you.
To the tuition of God from my house, if I had it.
The 6th of July, your loving friend, Benedick.
Nay, mock not, mock not. The body of your discourse is sometime guarded with fragments, and the guards are but slightly based on neither. Ere you flout old ends any further, examine your conscience, and so I leave you.
My liege, your highness may now do me good.
My love is thine to teach. Teach it but how, and thou shalt see how apt it is to learn any hard lesson that may do thee good.
Hath Leonato any son, my lord?
No child but Hero, she's his only heir. Dost thou affect her, Claudio?
Oh, my lord, when you went onward on this ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye that liked, but had rougher task in hand than to drive liking to the name of love. But now I am returned, and that war thoughts have left their places vacant, and in their room come thronging soft and delicate desires, all prompting me how fair young Hero is, saying, I liked her, ere I went to wars.
Thou wilt be like a lover presently, and tire the hero with a book of words. If thou dost love fair Hero, cherish it, and I will break with her and with her father, and thou shalt have her. Was not to this end that thou beganst to twist so fine a story?
How sweetly you do minister love to know love's grief by his complexion. But lest my liking too sudden seem, I would have salved it with a longer treatise.
What need the bridge much broader than the flood? The fairest grant is the necessity. Look, what will serve is fit. 'Tis once thou lovest, and I will fit thee with the remedy. I know we shall have revelling tonight. I will assume thy part in some disguise, and tell fair Hero I am Claudio, and in her bosom I'll unclasp my heart and take her hearing prisoner with the force and strong encounter of my amorous tale. Then after to her father I will break, and the conclusion is, she shall be thine. In practice, let us put it presently.
What the good year, my lord? Why are you thus out of measure sad?
There is no measure in the occasion that breeds, therefore the sadness is without limit.
You should hear reason.
And when I have heard it, what blessing brings it?
If not a present remedy, at least a patient sufferance.
I wonder that thou, being as thou sayest thou art, born under Saturn, goest about to apply a moral medicine to a mortifying mischief. I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause, and smile at no man's jest. Eat when I have stomach, and wait on no man's leisure. Sleep when I am drowsy, and tend on no man's business. Laugh when I am merry, and claw no man in his humor.
Yea, but you must not make the full show of this, till you may do it without controlment. You have of late stood out against your brother, and he hath ta'en you newly into his grace. Where it is impossible you should take true root, but by the fair weather that you make yourself. It is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest.
I had rather be a canker in the hedge than a rose in his grace. And it better fits my blood to be disdained of all than to fashion a carriage to rob love from any. In this, though I cannot be said to be a flattering, honest man, it must not be denied, but I am a plain-dealing villain. I am trusted with a muzzle and enfranchised with a clog. Therefore, I have decreed not to sing in my cage. If I had my mouth, I would bite. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me.
Can you make no use of your discontent?
I make all use of it, for I use it only.
Lord, I came yonder from a great supper. The prince, your brother, is royally entertained by Leonato, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
Will it serve for any model to build mischief on? What is he for a fool that betroths himself to unquietness?
Marry, it is your brother's right hand.
Who? The most exquisite Claudio?
Even he.
A proper squire. And who? And who? Which way looks he?
Marry, on Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonato.
A very forward marched chick. How came you to this?
I was smoking behind the arras, and there heard it agreed upon that the prince should woo Hero for himself, and having obtained her, give her to Count Claudio.
Come, come, let us thither. This may prove food to my displeasure. That young startup hath all the glory of my overthrow. If I can cross him any way, I bless myself every way. You are both sure and will assist me?
To the death, my lord.
Let us to the great supper. Their cheer is the greater that I am subdued. Would the cook were o' my mind. Shall we go prove what's to be done?
We'll wait upon your lordship.
Was not Don John here at supper?
I saw him not.
How tartly that gentleman looks. I can never see him but in heartburn an hour after.
He is of a very melancholy disposition.
He were an excellent man that were made just in the midway between him and Benedick. The one is too like an image and says nothing. The other, too like my lady's eldest son, evermore tattling.
Then half Senior Benedick's tongue in Don John's mouth, and half Don John's melancholy in Senior Benedick's face.
With a good leg and a good foot, uncle, and money enough in his purse, such a man would win any woman in the world, if it could get her good will.
By my troth, niece, thou wilt never get thee a husband if thou be so shrewd of thy tongue.
In faith, she's too cursed.
Oh, too cursed is more than cursed. Lord, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. I had rather lie in the woolen.
You may light on a husband that hath no beard.
And what shall I do with him? Dress him in my apparel and make him my waiting gentlewoman? He that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. And he that is more than a youth is not for me, and he that is less than a man, I am not for him. Therefore I will even take sixpence in earnest of the bare word, and lead his apes into hell.
Well, then go you into hell?
No, but to the gate, and there will the devil meet me like an old cuckold with horns on his head, and say, "Get you to heaven, Beatrice, get you to heaven. Here is no place for you maids." So deliver I up my apes, and away to St. Peter for the heavens. He shows me where the bachelors sit, and there we live as merry as the day is long.
Well, I trust you will be ruled by your father.
Yes, faith, it is my cousin's duty to make curtsy and say, "Father, as it please you." But yet, for all that, cousin, let him be a handsome fellow, or else make another curtsy and say, "Father, as it please me."
Well, niece, I hope to see you one day fitted with a husband.
Not till God make men of some other metal than earth. Oh, none. Adam's sons are my brethren, and truly I hold it a sin to match my kindred.
Cousin, you apprehend passing shrewdly.
I have a good eye, uncle. I can see a church by daylight.
The revelers are entering. Make good room.
Lady, will you walk about with your friend?
So you walk softly and look sweetly and say nothing. I'm yours for the walk, and especially when I walk away.
With me in your company?
I may say so, when I please.
And when please you to say so?
When I like your favor. For God defend, the lute should be like the case.
Speak low if you speak love.
Well, I would you did like me.
So would not I, for I have many ill qualities.
Which is one?
I say my prayers aloud.
Oh, I love you the better. The hearers may cry amen.
God match me with a good dancer.
Amen.
And God keep him out of my sight when the dance is done. Answer, clerk.
No more words. The clerk is answered.
Will you not tell me who told you so?
No, you shall pardon me, yeah?
No, you will not tell me who you are.
Not to know.
That I was disdainful, and that I had my good wit out of the 100 merry tales? Oh, why, this was Signor Benedick that said so.
What is he, yeah?
I am sure you know him well enough.
Not I, believe me.
Did he never make you laugh?
I pray you, what is he,
Why, he is the prince's jester, a very dull fool. Only his gift is in devising impossible slanders. None but libertines delight in him, and the commendation is not in his wit, but in his villainy. For he both pleases men and angers them, and then they laugh at him and beat him. I am sure he is in the fleet. I would he had boarded me.
When I know the gentleman, let me say.
Do. He'll but break a comparison or two on me, which peradventure not marked or not laughed at strikes him into melancholy, and then is the partridge wing saved, for the fool will eat no supper that night. We must follow the leaders.
In every good thing.
Nay, if they lead to any ill, I will lead them at the next turning.
Sure, my brother is amorous on Hero and hath withdrawn her father to break with him about it. The ladies follow her, and but one visor remains.
And that is Claudio. I know him by his bearing.
Are you not Signor Benedick?
You know me well. I am he.
Signor, you are very near my brother in his love. He is enamored on Hero. I pray you dissuade him from her. She is no equal for his birth. You may do the part of an honest man in it.
How know you he loves her?
I heard him swear his affection.
So did I too. He swore he would marry her tonight.
Come, let us to the banquet.
Thus answer I in the name of Benedick, but hear these ill news with the ears of Claudio. 'Tis certain so. The prince woos for himself. Friendship is constant in all other things save in the office and affairs of love. Therefore, all hearts in love use their own tongues. Let every eye negotiate for itself and trust no agent. For beauty is a witch whose charms faith melleth into blood. This was an accident of hourly proof which I mistrusted not. Farewell, therefore, hero.
Count Claudio.
Yeah, the same.
Come, will you go with me?
Whither?
Even to the next willow about your own business, County. What fashion will you wear the garland of? About your neck like a usurer's chain, or under your arm like a lieutenant's scarf? You must wear it one way, for the prince hath got your hero.
I wish him joy of her.
Why, that's spoken like an honest drovier, so they sell with bullocks? But do you think the prince would have served you thus?
I pray you leave me.
Oh, now you strike like the blind man. 'Twas the boy that stole your meat, and you'll beat the post.
If it will not be, then I'll leave you.
Alas, poor hurt fowl. Now will he creep into sedges. But that my lady Beatrice should know me and not know me? The prince's fool. It may be I go under that title because I am merry, yea, but so I am apt enough to do myself wrong. I am not so reputed. It is the base, though bitter disposition of Beatrice that puts the world into her person, so gives me out. Well, I'll be revenged as I may.
And now, senor, where's the count? Did you see him?
I found him here as melancholy as a lodge in a warren. I told him, and I think I told him true, that your grace had got the goodwill of his young lady, and offered him my company to a willow tree, either to make him a garland as being forsaken, or bind him up a rod as being worthy to be whipped.
To be whipped? What's his fault?
The flat transgression of a schoolboy who, being overjoyed with finding a bird's nest, shows it to his companion, and he steals it.
Wilt thou make a trusted transgression? The transgression is in the stealer.
Yet did it not be amiss, the rod had been made. The rod he might have bestowed on you, who, as I take it, have stolen his bird's nest.
I will but teach them to sing and restore them to the owner.
If your singing answers their saying, by my faith you say honestly.
The lady Beatrice hath a quarrel to you. The gentleman that danced with her told her she is much wronged by you.
Oh, she misused me past the endurance of a block. She told me, not thinking I'd been myself, that I was the prince's jester, that I was duller than a great thaw, huddling jest upon jest, with such impossible conveyance on me that I stood like a man at a mark with a whole army shooting at me. She speaks poniards, every word stabs. If her breath were as terrible as her terminations, there would be no living near her. She would infect to the North Star. I would not marry her, though she were endowed with all that Adam bad left him before he transgressed. Come, talk not of her. I would to God some scholar would conjure her, for certainly she is here. A man may live as quiet in hell as in a sanctuary, and people sin upon purpose because they would go thither. So indeed, all quiet, horror, and perturbation follows her.
Look, here she comes.
Oh, will your grace command me any service to the world's end? I will go on the slightest errand now to the antipodes that you can devise to send me on. I will fetch you a toothpicker now from the furthest inch of Asia. Bring you the length of Prester Don's foot. Fetch you a hair of the great Com's beard. Do you any embessage of the pygmies, rather than hold 3 words conference with this harpy. You have no employment for me?
None, but to desire your good company.
Oh, God. Sir, here's a dish I love not. I cannot endure my lady tongue.
Come, lady, come. You have lost the heart of Senor Benedick.
Indeed, my lord. He lent it me a while, and I gave him use for it. A double heart for his single one. Marry once before, he wanted of me with false dice. Therefore your grace may well say I have lost it.
You have put him down, lady. You have put him down.
So I would not he should do me, my lord, lest I prove the mother of fools. I have brought Count Claudio, whom you sent me to seek.
Why, how now, Clount? Wherefore are you sad?
Not sad, my lord.
How then, sick?
Neither, my lord.
The Count is neither sad, nor sick, nor merry, nor well, but civil, Count. Civil as an orange and something of that jealous complexion?
I'll be sworn if he be so. His conceit is false. Here, Claudio, I have wooed in thy name, and fair hero is won. I have broke with her father, and his goodwill obtained. Name the day of your marriage, and God give thee joy.
Count, take of me my daughter, and with her my fortunes. His grace hath made the match, and all grace say amen to it.
Speak, Count. 'Tis your cue.
Silence is the perfectest herald of joy. I were but little happy if I could say how much. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I give myself away for you and dote upon the exchange.
Speak, cousin. Or, if you cannot, stop his mouth with a kiss and let him not speak neither.
In faith, lady, you have a merry heart.
Yea, my lord. I thank it, poor fool. It keeps me on the windy side of care. Ah, my cousin tells him in his ear that he is in her heart.
And so she doth, cousin.
Good Lord for alliance. Thus goes everyone out into the world but I, and I am sunburnt. I may sit in a corner and cry hey-ho for a husband.
Lady Beatrice, I will get you one.
I would rather have one of your father's getting. Hath your grace ne'er a brother like you? Your father got excellent husbands if a maid could come by them.
Will you have me, lady?
No, my lord. Unless I might have another for working days. Your grace is too costly to wear every day. I beseech your grace, pardon me. I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Your silence most offends me, and to be merry best becomes you. For out of question you were born in a merry hour.
No, sure, my lord. My mother cried. But then was a star danced, and under that I was born. Cousins, God give you joy.
Niece, will you look to those things I told you of?
I cry you mercy, uncle. By your grace's pardon.
By my troth, a pleasant-spirited lady.
There's a little of the melancholy element in her, my lord. She isn't ever sad but when she sleeps, and not ever sad then. For I have heard my daughter say she hath often dreamt of unhappiness and waked herself with laughing.
She cannot endure to hear tell of a husband.
Oh, by no means. She mocks all her wooers out of suit.
She were an excellent wife for Benedick.
Oh, Lord, my lord, if they were but a week married, they would talk themselves mad.
I will undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring Senor Benedick and the Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection, the one with the other. I would fain have it a match, and I doubt not but to fashion it, if you three will but minister such assistance as I shall give you direction.
My lord, I am for you, though it cost me 10 nights' watchings.
And I, my lord.
And you too, gentle hero?
I will do any modest office, my lord, to help my cousin to a good husband.
And Benedick is not the unhopefulest husband that I know. Well, thus far I can praise him. He is of noble strain, of approved valor and confirmed honesty. I will teach you how to humor your cousin, that ye shall fall in love with Benedick. And I, with your two helps, will so practice on Benedick that in despite of his quick wit and his queasy stomach, he shall fall in love with Beatrice. If we can do this, Cupid is no longer an archer. His glory shall be ours, for we are the only love gods. Now go in with me, and I will tell you my drift.
So, the Count Claudio shall marry the daughter of Leonato.
Yea, but I can cross it.
Any bar, any cross, any impediment will be medicinable to me. I am sick in displeasure to him, and whatsoever comes athwart his affection ranges evenly with mine. How canst thou cross this marriage?
Not honestly, my lord, but so covertly that no dishonesty shall appear in me.
Show me briefly how.
I think I told your lordship a year since how much I am in the favor of Margaret, the waiting gentlewoman to Hero.
I remember.
I can, at any unseasonable instant of the night, appoint her to look out at her lady's chamber window.
What life is in that to be the death of this marriage?
The poison of that lies in you to temper. Go you to the prince your brother. Tell him, spare not to tell him that he hath wronged his honor in marrying the most exquisite Claudio, whose estimation do you mightily hold up, to a contaminated stale, such a one as Hero.
What proof shall I make of that?
Proof enough to misuse the prince, to vex Claudio, to undo Hero and kill Leonato? Look you to any other issue?
Only to despite them, I will endeavor anything.
Go then. Find me a meet hour to draw Don Pedro and Count Claudio alone. Tell them you know that Hero loves me. They will scarcely believe this without trial. Offer them instances which shall bear no less likelihood than to see me at her chamber window. Hear me call Margaret Hero, hear Margaret term me Claudio, and bring them to see this the very night before the intended wedding. For in the meantime I will so fashion the matter that Hero shall be absent. And there shall appear such seeming truth of Hero's disloyalty, that jealousy shall be called assurance, and all the preparation overthrown.
Grow this to what adverse issue it can. I will put it in practice. Be cunning in the working of this, and thy fee is 1,000 ducats.
Be you constant in the accusation, and my cunning shall not shame me.
I will presently go learn their day of marriage.
I do much wonder how one man, seeing how much another man is a fool when he dedicates his behaviors to love, will, after he hath laughed at such shallow follies in others, become the argument of his own scorn by falling in love. And such a man is Claudio. I have known when there was no music with him but the drum and the fife. Now had he rather hear the tabor and the pipe? I've known when he would walk 10 mile at foot to see a good armor, now he lies 10 nights awake, carving the fashion of a new doublet. He was wont to speak plain and to the purpose, like an honest man and a soldier. Now has he turned to autography, Those words are a very fantastical banquet. Just so many strange dishes. May I be so converted to see with these eyes? I cannot tell. I think not. I will not be sworn, but love may transform me to an oyster. But I'll take my oath on it. Till he have made an oyster of me, he shall not make me such a fool. One woman is fair, yet I am well. Another is wise, yet I am well. Another is virtuous, yet I am well. But till all graces be in one woman shall not come in my grace. Rich shall she be, that is certain. Wise, or I'll none. Virtuous, or I'll never cheapen her. Fair, or I'll look not on. Mild, or come not near me. Noble, or not I for an angel. Of good discourse, an excellent musician. And her hair. Her hair shall be what color it please God. Ah, the prince and Monsieur Love. I will hide me in the arbor.
Come, shall we hear this music?
Yea, my good lord, how still the evening is, as hushed on purpose to grace harmony.
See you where Benedick hath hid himself?
Oh, very well, my lord. The music ended. We'll fit this kid fox with a pennyworth. Oi! Oi! Cut it! Cheers.
Come hither, Leonato. What was it you told me of today, that your niece Beatrice was in love with Senor Benedick?
Oi, hey, stock on, the foul sits. I did never think that any lady would have loved any man.
No, nor I neither, but most wonderful that she should so dote on Senior Benedick, whom she hath in all outward behaviour seemed ever to abhor.
Is possible the wind sits in that corner?
By my troth, my lord, I cannot tell what to think of it, but that she loves him with an enraged affection, it is past the infinite of thought.
Maybe she doth but counterfeit.
Oh, faith, like enough.
Oh God, counterfeit? There was never counterfeit of passion came so near the life of passion as she discovers it.
Why, what effects of passion shows she?
Bait the hook well, this fish will bite.
What effects, my lord? She will sit you. You heard my daughter tell you how.
She did indeed.
How? How, I pray you? You amaze me. I would have thought her spirit had been invincible against all assaults of affection.
I would have sworn it had, my lord, especially against Benedick.
I should think that this is a Gaul, but that the white-bearded fellow speaks it. Oh, knavery cannot sure hide himself in such reverence.
He hath taken the infection. Hold it up.
Hath she made her affection known to Benedick?
No, and swears she never will. That's her torment.
'Tis true indeed, so your daughter says. Shall I, she says, that have so often countered him with scorn, write him that I love him?
This says she now, when she is beginning to write to him, for she'll be up 20 times a night, and there will she sit in her smock till she have writ a sheet of paper. My daughter tells us all.
Now that you talk of a sheet of paper, I remember a pretty jest your daughter told us of.
When she had writ it and was reading it over, she found Benedick and Beatrice between the sheets.
That!
She tore the letter into 1,000 halfpence, railed at herself that she should be so immodest to write to one that she knew would flout her. I measure him, says he, by my own spirit, for I should flout him if he writ to me. Yea, though I love him, I should.
Then down upon her knees she falls, weeps, sobs, beats her heart, tears her hair, prays, curses. Oh, sweet Benedict, God give me patience.
She does indeed. My daughter says so. And the ecstasy has so much overborne her that my daughter is sometime afeard that she will do a desperate outrage to herself. It
It were good that Benedick knew of it by some other, if she will not discover it.
To what end? He would make but a sport of it, and torment the poor lady worse.
And he should it were an alms to hang him. She's an excellent sweet lady, and out of all suspicion she is virtuous.
And she is exceedingly wise.
In everything but in loving Benedick.
Oh, my lord, wisdom and blood combating in so tender a body, we have 10 proofs to 1 that blood hath the victory. I am sorry for her, as I have just caused, being her uncle and her guardian.
I would she had bestowed this dotage on me. I would have doffed all other respects and made her half myself. I pray you tell Benedick of it, and hear what it will say.
Were it good, think you?
My hero thinks she will surely die, for she says she will die if he love her, and she will die ere she make her love known, and she will die if he woo her, rather than bait her with one breath of her accustomed crossness.
She doth well. If she should make tender of her love, 'tis very possible he'll scorn it. For the man, as you know all, hath a contemptible spirit.
He is a very proper man.
He hath indeed a good outward happiness.
And before God, in my mind, very wise.
He doth indeed show some sparks that are like wit. Well, I am sorry for your niece. Shall we go seek Benedick and tell him of her love?
Oh, never tell him, my lord. Let her wear it out with good counsel.
Nay, that's impossible. She may wear her heart out first.
Well, we will hear further of it by your daughter. Let it cool the while. I love Benedick well, and I could wish he would modestly examine himself to see how much he is unworthy so good a lady.
My lord, will you walk? Dinner is ready.
If he do not dote upon this, I will never trust my expectations.
Oh, let us send her to call him in to dinner.
This can be no trick. The conference was sadly born. They had the truth of this from Hero. They seem to pity the lady. It seems her affections have their full bent. Love me. Why? It must be requited. I hear how I am censored. They say I will bear myself proudly if I perceive the love come from her. They say, too, that you would rather die than give me any sign of affection. I did never think to marry. I must not seem proud. Happy are they who can hear their detractions and put them to mending. They say the lady is fair. 'Tis the truth. I can bear them witness. And virtuous. 'Tis so. I cannot reprove it. And why? But for loving me. Oh, by my troth, it is no addition to her wit, nor no great argument of her folly, for I will be horribly in love with her. I may chance of some odd quirks and remnants of wit broken on me, because I've rallied so long against marriage, but doth not the appetite alter? A man loves the meat in his youth he cannot endure in his age. Shelley's quips and sentences of these paper bullets of the brain awe a man from the career of his humor? No, the world must be peopled. When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I would live till I were married. Here comes Beatrice. By this day, she is a fair lady. Do spy some marks of love in her.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come in to dinner.
Oh, fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains.
I took no more pains for those things than you take pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come.
You take pleasure in the message, then?
Yea, senor, just as much as you may take upon a knife's point. You have still no stomach, senor? Very well.
Against my will, I'm sent to bid you come to dinner. There's a double meaning in that. I took no more pains for those things than you took pains to thank me. That's as much to say as any pains that I take for you is as easy as thanks. If I do not pity her, I am a villain. I'll go get her picture.
Now begin, for look, where Beatrice, like a lapwing, runs close by the ground to hear our conference. No, truly, Ursula, she's too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedick loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince and my new trothed lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they loved Benedick, to wish him wrestle with affection and never to let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve as full, as fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon?
Oh, God of love, I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man, but nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn are sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on, and her wit values itself so highly that to her all matter else seems weak. She cannot love, nor take no shape nor project of affection. She is so self-endeared.
Sure, I think so. And therefore certainly it were not good she knew his love, lest she make sport at it.
Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw man, how wise, how noble, young, how rarely featured, but she would spell him backward. If too tall, she'd swear the gentleman should be her sister. If low, an agate, very vilely cut. If speaking, why a vein blown with all winds. If silent, why a block moved with none. So turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives to truth and virtue that which simpleness and merit purchaseth.
Sure, such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd and from all fashions as Beatrice is cannot be commendable. But who dare tell her so? If I should speak, she would mock me into air. Oh, she would laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore, let Benedick, like covered fire, consume away in sighs, waste inwardly. It were a better death than die with mocks, which is as bad as die with tickling.
Yet tell her of it. Hear what she will say.
No, rather, I will go to Benedick and counsel him to fight against his passion. And truly, I'll devise some honest slanders to stain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill word may empoison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be so much without true judgment, having so swift and excellent a wit as she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Signor Benedick.
He is the only man of Italy, always excepted my dear Claudio.
I pray you, be not angry with me, madam, speaking my fancy. Signor Benedick, for shape, for bearing, argument, and valor, goes foremost in report throughout Italy.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellence did earn it ere he had it. When are you married, madam?
Why, every day tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll show thee some attires, and have thy counsel which is best to furnish me tomorrow.
She's limed, I warrant you. We have caught her, madam.
If it proves so, then loving goes by haps. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
What fire is in mine ears? Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt farewell, and maiden pride adieu. No glory lives behind the back of such. And Benedick, love on. I will requite thee. If thou dost love, Our kindness shall incite us to bind our loves up in holy band. For others' sake, we doth deserve, and I believe it. Better than reportingly.
I do but stay till your marriage be consummate, and then go I toward Aragon.
I'll bring you thither, my lord, if you'll vouchsafe me.
Nay, that would be as great a soil in the new gloss of your marriage as to show a child his new coat, and forbid him to wear it. I will only be bold with Benedick for his company. For from the crown of his head to the sole of his foot he is all mirth. He hath twice or thrice cut Cupid's bowstring, and the little hangman dare not shoot at him. He hath a heart as sound as a bell, and his tongue is the clapper. For what his heart thinks, his tongue speaks.
Gallants, I am not as I have been.
So say I, methinks you are sadder.
I hope he be in love.
Oh, hang him, truant. There's no true drop of blood in him to be truly touched with love. If he be sad, he wants money.
I have the toothache.
What? Sigh for the toothache?
If he be not in love with some woman, there is no believing old science. I brush his hat o' mornings, what should that bode?
Hath any man seen him at the barber's?
No, but the barber's man hath been seen with him, and the old ornament on his cheek hath already stuffed tennis balls.
Indeed, he looks younger than he did by the loss of a beard.
Nay, rubs himself with civet. Can you smell him out by that?
Oh, that is as much to say the sweet use in love.
The greatest note of it is in his melancholy.
And when was he wont to wash his face?
Conclude, he is in love.
Nay, but I know who loves him.
Ah, that would I know too, I warrant one that knows him not.
Yes, and his ill conditions, and in despite of all, dies for him.
She shall be buried with her face upwards.
Getting no time for the toothache. Old Senor, walk aside with me. I have studied 8 or 9 wise words to speak with you, which these hobby horses must know.
Oh, for my life to break with him about Beatrice.
'Tis even so, Hero and Margaret have played their parts with Beatrice, and then the two bears will not bite one another when they meet.
My lord and brother, God save you.
Good e'en, brother.
If your leisure served, I would speak with you.
In private?
If it please you, yet Count Claudio may hear, for what I speak of concerns him.
Why? What's the matter?
Means your lordship to be married tomorrow?
You know he does.
I know not, that when he knows what I know.
If there be any impediment, I pray you discover it.
You may think I love you not. Let that appear hereafter, and aim better at me, by that I now will manifest. For my brother, I think he holds you well, and in dearness of heart, hath hope to effect your ensuing marriage. Surely suit ill spent, and labor ill bestowed.
Why? What's the matter?
I came hither to tell you, and circumstances shortened, for she has been too long a talking of. The lady is disloyal.
Who? Hero?
Even she. Leonato's hero. Your hero. Every man's hero.
Disloyal?
The word is too good to paint out her wickedness. I could say she were worse. Think you of a worse title, and I will fit her to it. Wonder not till further warrant. Go but with me. Tonight you shall see her chamber window entered, even the night before her wedding day. If you love her then, tomorrow wed her. But it would better fit your honor to change your mind.
May this be so?
And I will not think it.
If you dare not trust that you see, confess that you know. If you will follow me, I will show you enough. And when you have seen more and heard more, proceed accordingly.
If I see anything tonight why I should not marry her, tomorrow in the congregation where I should wed, there I will shame her.
And as I wooed for thee to obtain her, I will join with thee to disgrace her.
I will disparage her no further till you are my witnesses. Bear it coldly but till midnight, and let the issue show itself.
Oh, day untowardly turned!
Oh, mischief strangely thwarting!
Oh, plague right well prevented! So will you say when you have seen the sequel.
Are you good men and true?
Yea, or else it were pity, but they should suffer salvation, body and soul.
Nay, that were a punishment too good for them, if they should have any allegiance in them being chosen for the prince's watch.
Well, give them their charge, neighbor Dogberry.
First, who think you the most desertless man to be constable?
Hugh Oatcake, sir, or George Seacole, for they can write and read.
Come hither, neighbor Seacole. God hath blessed you with a good name. To be a well-favored man is the gift of fortune, but to write and read comes by nature, both which, neighbor Seacole, you have. I knew it would be your answer. Well, for your favor, sir, why, give God thanks, and make no boast of it. And for your writing and reading, let that appear when there is no need of such vanity. You are thought here to be the most senseless and fit man to be constable of the watch. Therefore, bear you the lantern. This is your charge. You shall comprehend all vagrom men. You are to bid any man stand in the prince's name.
How if they will not stand?
Why then, take no note of him, but let him go, and presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you are rid of a knave.
If he will not stand when he is bidden, he is none of the prince's subjects.
True. And they are to meddle with none but the prince's subjects. You shall also make no noise in the streets, for the watch to babble and talk is most tolerable, and not to be endured.
We will rather sleep than talk. We know what belongs to the watch.
Why, you speak like a most ancient and quiet watchman, for I cannot see how sleeping should offend. Only have a care that your bills be not stolen. Well, you are to call at all the alehouses and bid those that are drunk and get them to bed.
How if they will not?
Why then, let them alone until they are sober. If they make you not the better answer, you may say they are not the men you took them for. If you meet a thief, you may suspect him by virtue of your office to be no true man. And for such kind of men, the less you meddle or make with them, why, the more is for your honesty.
If we know him to be a thief, shall we not lay hands on him?
Truly, by your office you may, but I think that they that touch pitch will be defiled. The most peaceable way for you, if you do take a thief, is to let himself show himself what he is, and steal out of your company.
You have always been called a merciful man, partner.
Truly. I would not hang a dog by my will, much more a man who hath any honesty in him.
'Tis very true.
This is the end of the charge. You, constable, are to present the prince's own person. If you meet the prince in the night, you may stay him.
Nay, by our lady that I think a cannot.
5 shillings to 1 on't with any man that knows the statutes. He may stay him, marry, not without the prince be willing. For indeed the watch ought to offend no man, and it is an offence to stay a man against his will.
By our lady, I think it be so.
Aha. Well, masters, good night. And there be any matter of weight chances, call up me. Keep your fellows' counsels and your own, and good night. Come, neighbor.
Well, master, we hear our charge. Let us go sit here upon the church bench till 2, and then all to bed.
One word more, honest neighbors. I pray you watch about Signor Leonato's door. For the wedding being there tomorrow, there is a great coil tonight. Adieu. Be vigilant, I beseech you.
Peace, stir not.
Conrad, I say!
Here, man, I am at thy elbow.
Stand thee close then, under this penthouse, for it drizzles rain, and I will, like a true drunkard, utter all to thee.
Some treason, masters. Yeah, stand close.
Therefore, know that I have earned of Don John 1,000 ducats.
Is it possible that any villainy should be so dear?
Thou shouldst rather ask if any villainy should be so rich. For when rich villains have need of poor ones may make what price they will. Tush, seest thou not what a deformed thief this fashion is?
I know that deformed. He has been a vile thief this 7 year. He goes up and down like a gentleman. I remember his name.
Does thou not hear somebody?
No, 'twas the vein on the house.
Therefore, know that tonight I have wooed Margaret, the lady hero's gentlewoman. By the name of Margaret, she leans me out at her mistress's chamber window, bids me 1,000 times good night. I tell this tale vilely. I should first tell thee how the prince, Conrad, and my master, planted and placed and possessed there by my master Don John, did see afar off in the orchard this amiable encounter.
And they thought Margaret was hero?
Two of them did. The prince and Claudio. But the devil my master knew she was Margaret, and partly by his oaths which first possessed them, partly by the dark night which did deceive them, but chiefly by my villainy, which did confirm any slander that Don John had made. Oh, away went Claudio enraged, swore he would beat her as he was appointed next morning at the temple, and there, before the whole congregation, shame her with what he saw her a night, and send her home again without a husband.
We charge you in the prince's name, stand. Call up the right master constable. We have here recovered the most dangerous piece of lechery that ever was known in the commonwealth, and one deformed is one of them. I know him. Wears a lock.
Master!
You'll be made bring deformed warrant, I warrant you.
Master!
Never speak. We charge you. Let us obey you to go with us.
Come, we'll obey you.
Troth, I think your other rubato were better.
No, pray thee, good Meg. I'll wear this.
By my troth's not so good, and I warrant your cousin will say so.
My cousin's a fool, and thou art another. I'll wear none but this. God give me joy to wear it, for my heart is exceeding heavy.
'Twill be heavier soon with the weight of a man.
Fie upon thee! Art not ashamed?
Of what, lady? Of speaking honourably? Is not marriage honourable in beggar? Is not your lord honourable without marriage? I think you would have me say, saving your reverence, a husband. And bad thinking do not rest true speaking. I'll offend nobody. Is there any harm in the heavier for a husband? None, I think, and it be the right husband and the right wife. Otherwise 'tis light and not heavy. Ask my lady Beatrice else, here she comes.
Good morrow, coz.
Good morrow, sweet hero.
Why, how now? Do you speak in the sick tune?
I am all out of other tune, methinks.
Claps into light o' love. That goes without a burden. Do you sing it, and I'll dance it.
Ye light of love with your heels? Then you shall see if your husband has stables enough. You shall see he lacks no barns.
Oh, illegitimate construction. I scorn that with my heels.
It is almost 5 o'clock, cousin. 'Tis time you were ready. Oh, by my troth, I am exceeding ill. Oh, hey ho.
For a hawk, a horse, or a husband?
For the letter that begins them all.
Well, an you be not turned from God, there's no more sailing by the star.
What needs the fool, trow?
Nothing, aye, but God send everyone their heart's desire.
Oh, these gloves the Count sent me, they are an excellent perfume.
I am stuffed, cousin. I cannot smell.
A maid and stuffed. There's goodly catching of a cold.
Oh, God help me. God help me. How long have you professed apprehension?
Ever since you left it. Doth not my wit become me rarely?
It is not seen enough. You should wear it in your cap. Oh, by my troth, I am sick.
Get you some of this distilled Cardus Benedictus and lay it to your heart. It is the only thing for a qualm.
There thou prickst her with a thistle.
Benedictus? Why Benedictus? You have some moral in this, Benedictus.
Moral? No, by my troth, I have no moral meaning. I meant plain holy thistle. You may think, perchance, that I think you are in love. Nay, Byre Lady, I'm not such a fool to think what I list. Nor I list not to think what I can, nor, indeed, I cannot think, if I would think my heart out of thinking, that you are in love, or that you will be in love, or that you can be in love. Yet Benedick was such another, and now is he become a man. He swore he would never marry, and yet now, in despite of his heart, he eats his meat without grudging. And how you may be converted, I know not. But methinks you look with your eyes as other women do.
What is this pace that thy tongue keeps?
Not a false gallop.
Madam, withdraw. The prince, the count, Signor Benedick, Don John, and all the gallants of the town are come to fetch you to church.
Help to dress me, good coz, good Meg, good Ursula.
What would you with me, honest neighbor?
Marry, sir, I would have some confidence with you that discerns you nearly.
Brief, I pray you, for you see, it is a busy time with me.
Marry, yes it is, sir.
Yes, in truth it is, sir.
What is it, my good friends?
A good man, Verges, sir, speaks a little off the matter. An old man, sir, and his wits are not so blunt as, God help, I would desire they were, but in faith honest as the skin between his brows.
Yes, I thank God I am as honest as any man living that is an old man and no honester than I.
Comparisons are odorous, palabras, neighbor Verges.
Neighbors, you are tedious.
It pleases your worship to say so, but we are the poor duke's officers. But truly, for mine own part, if I were as tedious as a king, I could find it in my heart to bestow it all of your worship.
All thy tediousness on me, huh?
Yea, and 'twere 1,000 pound more than 'tis, for I hear as good an exclamation on your worship as of any man in the city, and though I be but a poor man, I am glad to hear it.
And so am I.
I would fain know what it is you have to say.
Marry, sir, our watch tonight, expecting your worship's presence, attained a couple of as errant knaves as any in Messina.
A good old man, sir, he will be talking. As they say, when the age is in, the wit is out. God help us, it is a world to see. Well said, I faith, neighbor Verges. Well, God's a good man, and two men ride of a horse, one must ride behind. An honest soul, I faith, sir, by my troth he is, as ever broke bread, but God is to be worshipped. All men are not alike. Alas, good neighbor.
Indeed, neighbor, he comes too short of you.
Gifts that God gives.
I must leave you.
One word, sir. Our watch, sir, have indeed comprehended two auspicious persons, and we would have them this morning examined before your worship.
Take their examination yourself and bring it to me. I am now in great haste, as it may appear unto you.
It shall be suffragance.
Drink some wine ere you go. Fare you well.
Go, good partner. Go get you to Francis Seacole. Bid him bring his pen and inkhorn to the jail. We are now to examination these men.
And we must do it wisely.
We will spare for no wit, I warrant you. Here's that shall drive some of them to a non-com. When we get the learned writer to set down our excommunication, and meet me at the jail.
You come hither, my lord, to marry this lady.
No.
To be married to her, Antonio. You come to marry her.
Lady, you come hither to be married to this count?
I do.
If either of you know any inward impediment why you should not be conjoined, I charge you, on your souls, to utter it.
Know you any, hero?
None, my lord.
Know you any, Count?
I dare make his answer none.
Oh, what men dare do, what men may do, what men daily do, not knowing what they do.
How now, interjections? Why then some be of laughing as, ha ha!
Stand by thee, Antonio. Will you, with free and unconstrained soul, give me this maid, your daughter?
As freely, son, as God did give her me.
And what have I to give you back, whose worth may counterpose this rich and precious gift?
Nothing, unless you render her again.
Sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. There, Leonato, take her back again. Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She is but the sign and semblance of her honour. Behold her like a maid, she blushes here. Oh, what authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal? Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Would you not swear all that see in her that she were a maid by these exterior shows? But she is none. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
What do you mean, my lord?
Not to be married, not to knit my soul, to approve it wanton.
Oh, dear my lord, if you in your own truth had vanquished the resistance of her youth and made defeat of her virginity.
I know what you would say. If I have known her, you will say she did embrace me as a husband and so extenuate the forehand sin. No, Leonato, I never tempted her with word too large, but as a brother to his sister showed bashful sincerity and comely love.
And seemed I ever otherwise to you?
Out on thee seeming, I will write against it. You seem to me as Diane in her orb, as chaste as is the bud ere be blown, but you are more intemperate in your blood than Venus, or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality.
Is my lord well that he doth speak so wide?
Sweet prince, not you.
What should I speak? I stand dishonored that have gone about to link my dear friend to a common stale.
Are these things spoken, or do I but dream?
Sir, they are spoken, and these things are true.
This looks not like a nuptial.
True? Oh God.
Leonato, stand I here. Is this the prince? Is this the prince's brother? Is this face? Heroes, are our eyes our own?
Oh, this is so, but what of this, my lord?
Let me move but one question to your daughter, and by that fatherly and kindly power you have in her, bid her answer truly.
I charge thee do so, as thou art my child.
Oh God, defend me. How am I beset? What kind of catechizing call you this?
To make you answer truly to your name.
Is it not Hero? Who can blot that name with any just reproach?
Marry that can Hero. Hero itself can blot out Hero's virtue. What man was he talked with you yesternight out your window betwixt the hour of 12 and 1? Now, if you are a maid, answer to this.
I talked with no man at that hour, my lord.
Why, then you are no maiden. Leonato, I am sorry you must hear this. But upon mine honor, myself, my brother, and this grieved count did see her, hear her, at that hour last night, talk with a ruffian at her chamber window, who hath indeed, most like a liberal villain, confessed the vile encounters they have had 1,000 times in secret.
Fie, they are not to be named, my lord, not to be spoke of. There is not chastity enough in language without offense to utter them. Thus, pretty lady, I am sorry for thy much misgovernment.
Oh, Hero, what a hero hast thou been, if half thy outward graces have been placed upon thy thoughts and counsels of thy heart. But fare thee well, most foul, most fair, farewell, thou pure impiety and impious purity. For thee I will lock up all the gates of love, and on my eyelids shall conjecture hang, and turn all beauty into thoughts of harm, and never shall it be more gracious.
Has no man's dagger here a point for me?
Oh, how now, cousin hero? Wherefore sink you down?
Come, let us go. These things come thus to light. Smother her spirits up.
How doth the lady?
Dead, I think. Help. Uncle. Hero. Why, hero. Uncle. Signor Benedick.
O fate, take not away thy heavy hand. Death is the fairest cover for her shame that may be wished for.
How now, cousin hero?
Have comfort, lady.
Dost thou look up?
Yea. Wherefore should she not?
Wherefore? Why doth not every earthly thing cry shame upon her? Could she here deny the story that is printed in her blood? Do not live, hero. Do not open thine eyes. For did I think thou wouldst not quickly die? Thought I thy spirits were stronger than thy shames, myself would on the rearward of reproaches strike at thy life. Grieved I had but one. Why never wast thou lovely in my eyes? Why had I not with charitable hands took up a beggar's reproach at my gates? Who smirched thus and mired with infamy, I might have said, no part of it is mine. This shame derives itself from unknown loins. Mine I loved, and mine I praised, and mine that I was proud on, mine so much that I myself was to myself not mine, valuing of her. Why she, oh, she has fallen into a pit of ink that the wide sea had dropped too few to wash her clean again, and salt too little to flavor give to her foul tainted flesh.
Sir, be patient. For my part, I am so attired in wonder, I know not what to say.
Oh, on my soul. My cousin is belied.
Lady, were you her bedfellow last night?
No, truly not, although until this night I have this 12-month been her bedfellow.
Confirmed. Oh, that is stronger made, which was before barred up with ribs of iron. The two princes lie, and Claudio lie, her love who loved her so that speaking of her foulness washed it with tears. Hence from her, let her die.
Hear me a little, for I have only been silent so long and given way unto this course of fortune by noting of the lady. I have marked 1,000 blushing apparitions start into her face, 1,000 innocent shames in angel whiteness beat away those blushes. And in her eye there hath appeared a fire to burn the errors that these princes hold against her maiden truth. Call me a fool, if this sweet lady lie not guiltless here under some biting error.
It cannot be. Thou seest that all the grace that she had left is that she will not add to her damnation a sin of perjury. She not denies it. Why seekst thou then to cover with excuse that which appears in proper nakedness?
Lady, what man is he you are accused of?
They know that do accuse me. I know none. If I know more of any man alive than that which maiden modesty doth warrant, let all my sins lack mercy. Oh, my father, prove you that any man with me conversed at hours unmeet, or that I yesternight maintained the change of words with any creature, refuse me, hate me, torture me to death.
There is some strange misprision in the princes.
Two of them have the very bent of honor, and if their wisdoms be misled in this, the practice of it lives in John the Bastard. whose spirits toil in the frame of villainies.
I know not. If they speak but truth of her, these hands shall tear her. If they wrong her honor, the proudest of them shall well hear of it. Time hath not yet so dried this blood of mine, nor age so eat up my invention, nor fortune made havoc of my means, nor my bad life reft me so much of friends. They shall find awake in such a kind, both strength of limb and policy of mind, ability and means and choice of friends, to quit me of them throughly.
Pause a while, and let my counsel sway you in this case. Your daughter here, the princess, left for dead. Let her a while be secretly kept in, and publish it that she is dead indeed.
Maintain a mourning ostentation, and on our family's old monuments hang mournful epitaphs, and do all the rites that appertain unto a burial.
What shall become of this? What will this do?
Mary, this well carried shall on her behalf change slander to remorse. That is some good. She dying as it must so be maintained, upon the instant that she was accused, shall be lamented, pitied, and excused of every hearer. For it so falls out that what we have we prize not to the worth, whiles we enjoy it, but being lacked and lost, why, then we rack the value. Then we find the virtue that possession would not show us, whiles it was ours.
So will it fare with Claudio. When he shall hear she died upon his words, the idea of her life shall sweetly creep into his study of imagination, and every lovely organ of her life shall come apparelled in more precious habit than when she lived indeed. Then shall he mourn, if ever love had interest in his liver, let it this be so. And doubt not but success will fashion the event in better shape than I can lay down in likelihood.
Being that I flow in grief, the smallest twine may lead me.
'Tis well consented. Presently away. For to strange sores, strangely they strain the cure. Come, lady, die to live. This wedding day perhaps be but prolonged. Have patience and endure.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yea, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason. I do it freely.
Surely, I do believe your fair cousin is wronged.
How much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
Is there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way, but no such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in this world so well as you. Is not that strange?
As strange a thing as I know not. It were possible for me to say I love nothing so well as you, but believe me not. And yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear. And eat it.
I will swear by it that you love me, and I will make him eat it that says I love not you.
Will you not eat your own word?
With no sauce that can be devised to it, I protest I love thee.
Why then, God forgive me.
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest I loved you.
And do it with all thine heart.
I love you with so much of my heart that none is left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Not for the wide world.
You kill me to deny it. Farewell.
Mary, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone, though I am here. There is no love in you. Nay, I pray you let me go.
Beatrice.
In faith, I will go.
We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy?
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is not approved in the height a villain that has slandered, scorned, dishonored my kinswoman? Oh, that I were a man. What, bear her in hand until they come to take hands? And then, with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rancor? God, that I were a man. I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me, Beatrice.
Talk with a man at a window. A proper saying.
Nay, but Beatrice.
Sweet hero. She is wronged. She is slandered. She is undone.
Yes.
Princes and counties, and surely a princely testimony. A goodly Count Confect. Sweet gallant Shirley. Oh, that I were a man for his sake, or had any friend would be a man for my sake. But manhood is melted into courtesies, valor into compliment, and men are turned only into tongues, and trim ones too. He is now as valiant as Hercules that only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man with wishing. Therefore I will die a woman with grieving.
Harry, good Beatrice, by this hand, I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you on your soul the Count Claudio hath wronged Hero?
Yea, as sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough, I am engaged. I will challenge him. I will kiss your hand, and so I leave you. By this hand, Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear me, so think of me. Go, comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead, and so farewell.
Oh, is our whole assembly appeared?
Oh, a stool and a cushion for the sexton?
Which be the malefactors?
Mary, that am I, my partner.
Nay, that's certain. We have the exhibition to examine.
But which are the offenders that are to be examined? Let them come before, Master Constable.
Yea, let them come before me. What is your name, friend?
Borachio.
Pray, write down Borachio. Yours, sirrah?
I am a gentleman, sir, and my name is Conrad.
Write down Master Gentleman Conrad. Masters, do you serve God?
Yea, sir.
We hope.
Write down that they hope that they serve God. And write God first, for God defend, but God should go before such villains. Masters, it is proved already that you are little better than false knaves, and it will go near to be thought so shortly. How answer you for yourself?
Marry, sir, we say we are none.
A marvelous witty fellow, I assure you, but I will go about with him. Come, you, hither. A word in your ear, sir. I say to you, it is thought you are false knaves.
Sir, I say to you, we are none.
Well, stand aside. For God, they are both in a tale. Have you writ down that they are none?
Master Constable, you go not the way to examine. You must call forth the watch that are their accusers.
Yea, Mary, that's the eftest way. Let the watch come forth. Master, I charge you in the prince's name. Accuse these men.
This one said, sir, that Don John, the prince's brother, was a villain.
Write down Prince John a villain. Why, that is flat perjury to call the prince's brother villain.
Master Constable.
I pray thee, fellow, peace. I do not like thy look. I promise thee.
What heard you them say else?
Mary, that they had received 1,000 ducats of Don John for accusing the lady hero wrongfully.
Flat burglary as ever was committed.
Yea, by mass that it is.
What else, fellow?
And that Count Claudio did mean, upon his words, to disgrace Hero before the whole assembly and not marry her.
Oh, villain, thou wilt be condemned into everlasting redemption for this.
What else?
This is all.
And this is more, masters, than you can deny. Prince John is this morning secretly stolen away. Hero was in this manner accused, in this very manner refused, and upon the grief of this, suddenly died. Master Constable, let these men be bound. I will go before and show their examination.
Come, let them be opinioned.
Let them be in the hands of
Coxcomb.
God's my life, where's Antonio? Let him write down the prince's officer Coxcomb. Come, bind them, thou naughty varlet.
Away, you are an ass. You are an ass.
Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou not suspect my ears? Oh, that he were here to write me down an ass. But masters, remember that I am an ass, though it be not written down. No, thou villain, thou art full of piety, as shall be proved upon thee by good witness. I am a wise fellow, and which is more, a householder, and which is more, an officer, and which is more, as pretty a piece of flesh as any is in Messina. And one that knows the law, go to, and a rich fellow enough, go to, and a fellow that hath losses, and one that hath 2 gowns, and everything handsome about him. Bring them away. Oh, that I had been writ down an ass.
Good Ian. Good Ian.
Good day to you.
Hear you, my lords.
We have some haste, Leonato.
Some haste, my lord. Well, fare you well, my lord. Are you so hasty now? Well, all is one.
Nay, do not quarrel with us, good old man.
Who wrongs you?
Mary, thou dost wrong me, thou dissembler, thou. Nay, never lay thy hand upon thy sword. I fear thee not.
Mary, beshrew my hand. If it should give your age such cause of fear in faith, my hand meant nothing to my sword.
Tush, tush, man, never fleer and jest at me. I speak not like a daughter nor a fool, as under privilege of age to brag what I have done being young, or what would do were I not old. No, Claudio, to thy head. Thou hast so wronged mine innocent child and me, that I am forced to lay my reverence by, and with gray hairs and bruise of many days, to challenge thee to trial of a man. I say thou hast belied mine innocent child. Thy slander hath gone through and through her heart. She lies buried with her ancestors. Oh, in a tomb where never scandal slept, save this of hers framed by thy villainy.
My villainy?
Thine, Claudio, thine, I say.
You say not right, old man.
My lord, I'll prove it on his body if he dare. Despite his fence and his active practice, his May of youth and bloom of lustihood.
Oh, away, I will not have to do with you.
Thou so doff me? Thou hast killed my child. If thou killed me, boy, thou shalt kill a man.
Yeah, gentlemen, both! We will not wait your patience. My heart is sorry for your daughter's death. But on mine honor, she was charged with nothing but what was true and very full of proof.
My lord, my lord!
I will not hear you.
No, come away. I will be heard.
See, here comes the man we went to seek.
Ah, now, signor, what news?
Good day, my lord.
Welcome, senor. You are almost come to part almost a fray.
We had like to have our 2 noses snapped off by Leonato.
What thinkest thou? Had we fought, I doubt we should have been too young for him.
In a false quarrel, there is no true valor. I came to seek you both.
We have been up and down to seek thee, for we are high-proof melancholy and would fain have it beaten away. Wilt thou use thy wit?
It is in my scabbard. Shall I draw it?
Dost thou wear thy wit by thy side?
Never any did so, though very many have been beside their wit. I will bid thee, draw us as we do the minstrels. Draw to pleasure us.
As I am an honest man, he looks pale. Art thou sick or angry?
What courage, man! What thou care killed a cat, thou hast metal enough to thee to kill care.
Sir, I shall meet your wit in the career, and you charge it against me. I pray you choose another subject.
Nay, then, give him another staff, the last broke cross.
By this light he changes more and more. I think he be angry indeed.
Oh, if he be, he knows how to turn his girdle.
Shall I speak a word in your ear?
God bless me from a challenge.
You are a villain. I jest not. I will make it good how you dare, and with what you dare, and when you dare. Do me right, or I will protest your cowardice. You have killed a sweet lady, and her death shall fall heavy on you. Let me hear from you.
Well, I will meet you, so I may have good cheer.
But when shall we set the savage bull's horns on the sensible Benedick's head?
Yea, and the text underneath, here dwells Benedict, the married man.
Fare you well. Boy, you know my mind. I will leave you now to your gossip-like humor. You break jests as braggarts do their blades, which God be thanked, hurt not. My lord, for your many courtesies, I thank you. I must discontinue your company. Your brother the bastard is fled from Messina. You among you have killed a sweet and innocent lady. For my lord Lackbeard there, he and I shall meet, and till then, peace be with him.
He is in earnest.
In most profound earnest, and I warn you, for the love of Beatrice.
And hath challenged thee?
Most sincerely.
What a pretty thing man is when he goes in his doublet and hose and leaves off his wit.
Then he is a giant to an ape, but then is an ape a doctor to such a man.
But soft you, let me be. Pluck up my heart and be sad. Did he not say my brother was fled?
Come you, sir. If justice cannot tame you, she shall ne'er weigh more reasons in her balance. Nay, and you be a cursing hypocrite once, you must be looked to.
How now? 2 of my brother's men bound, Baraccio 1.
Hearken after their offence, my lord.
Officers, what offence have these ones done?
Marry, sir, they have committed false report. Moreover, they have spoken untruth. Secondarily, they are slanders. Sixth and lastly, they have belied a lady. And thirdly, they have verified unjust things. And to conclude, they are lying knaves.
First, I ask thee what they have done. Thirdly, I ask thee what's their offense. Sixth and lastly, why they are committed. And to conclude, what you lay to their charge.
Rightly reasoned and in his own division, and by my troth, there's one meaning well suited.
Who have you offended, masters, that you are thus bound to your answer? This learned constable is too cunning to be understood. What's your offense?
Sweet prince, let me go no farther to mine answer. Do you hear me? And let this count kill me. I've deceived even your very eyes. Which your wisdoms could not discover, these shallow fools have brought to light. Who in the night overheard me confess to this man how Don John, your brother, incensed me to slander the lady Hero. How you saw me court Margaret in Hero's garments. How you disgraced her when you should marry her. My villainy they have upon record, which I had rather seal with my death than repeat over in my shame. Mine and my master's false accusations, the Lady Hero is dead, and briefly, I desire nothing more than the reward of the villain.
Runs not this speech like iron through your blood?
I have drunk poison whilst he uttered it.
But did my brother set thee on to this?
Yea, and paid me richly for it.
He is composed and framed of treachery, and fled he is upon this villainy.
Sweet Hero, Now thy image doth appear in the rare semblance that I loved it first.
Come, bring away the plaintiffs. By this time, Antonio hath reformed Signor Leonato of the matter. And masters, do not forget to specify, when time and place shall serve, that I am an ass.
Which is the villain? Let me see their eyes, that when I note another one like them, I may avoid them.
If you would know your wronger, look on me.
Art thou the slave that with thy breath has killed mine innocent coz?
Yea, even I alone.
No, not so, villain. Thou beliest thyself. Here stand a pair of honorable men. A third is fled that hath a hand in it. I thank you, princes, for my daughter's death. Record it with your high and worthy deeds. 'Twas bravely done, if you bethink you of it.
I know not how to pray your patience, yet I must speak. Choose your revenge yourself. Impose me to what penance your invention can lay upon my sin. Yet sinned I not, but by mistaking.
By my soul nor I. And yet to satisfy this good old man, I would bend under any heavy weight that he'll enjoin me to.
I cannot bid you bid my daughter live. That were impossible. But I pray you both, hang her an epitaph upon her tomb, and sing it to her bones. Sing it tonight. Tomorrow morning, come you to my house, and since you could not be my son-in-law, be yet my nephew. My brother hath a daughter, almost a copy of my child that's dead, and she alone is heir to both of us. Give her the rights you should have given her cousin. And so dies my revenge.
Oh, noble sir, your overkindness doth wring tears from me. I do embrace your offer and dispose for henceforth of poor Claudio.
Tomorrow, then I will expect your coming. Tonight, I take my leave. This naughty man shall face to face be brought to Margaret, who I believe was packed in all this wrong, hired to it by your brother.
No, by my soul she was not, nor knew not what she did when she spoke with me, but hath always been just and virtuous in anything I know by her.
Moreover, sir, which is indeed not under white and black, this plaintiff here, the offender, did call me ass. Pray you, examine them upon that point.
I thank thee for thy care and honest pains.
Your worship speaks like a most thankful and reverent youth, and I praise God for you.
There's for thy pains.
God save the foundation.
Go, I discharge thee of thy prisoner, and I thank thee.
I leave an errant knave with your worship, which I beseech your worship to correct yourself for the example of others. God keep your worship. I wish your worship well. God restore you to health. I humbly give you leave to depart, and if a merry meeting be wished, God prohibit it. Come, neighbor.
Until tomorrow morning, lords, farewell.
Farewell, my lords. We look for you tomorrow.
We will not fail.
Tonight, I will mourn with Hero.
Bring you this fellow on. We'll talk with Margaret how her acquaintance grew with this lewd fellow.
Benedick's secret project, take like 35 maybe. That's wrong. Oh yeah, DIY. Bad at guitar. It's 2020. Mary, I cannot show it in rhyme. I've tried. I cannot find out no rhyme to lady but baby, an innocent rhyme. For scorn, horn, a hard rhyme. For school, fool, a blabbering rhyme. Very ominous endings. No, I was not born under a rhyming planet, nor can I woo in festival terms. Sweet Beatrice, wouldst thou come when I called thee?
Yea, senor, and depart when you bid me.
Oh, stay but till then.
Then is spoken. Fare you well then. And yet, ere I go, let me go with that I came for, which is with knowing what hath passed between you and Claudio.
Only foul words, and therefore upon I will kiss thee.
Foul words is but foul wind. And foul wind is but foul breath, and foul breath is noisome. Therefore I depart unkissed.
Thou hast frightened the word out of his right sense, so forcibly is thy wit. But I must tell thee plainly, Claudio undergoes my challenge, and either I must shortly hear from him, or I will subscribe him a coward. I pray thee now, tell me, for which of my bad parts did thou first fall in love with me?
For them all together, which maintain so politic a state of evil that they will not admit any good part to intermingle with them. For which of my good parts did you first suffer love for me?
Suffer love, a good epitaph. I do suffer love indeed, for I love thee against my will.
In spite of your heart, I think. Alas, poor heart. If you spite it for me, I will spite it for you, for I will never love that which my friend hates.
Thou and I are too wise to woo peaceably.
It appears not in this last confession. There's not one wise man among 20 that would praise himself.
Tell me, how doth your cousin?
Very ill.
And how do you?
Very ill too.
Serve God, love me, and mend. There will I leave you to, for here comes one in haste.
Madam, you must come to your uncle, yonder's old coil at home. Will you come presently?
Will you go hear this news, senor?
I will live in thy heart, die in thy lap, and be buried in thy eyes. And moreover, I will go with thee to thy uncle's.
Is this the monument of Leonato?
It is.
Midnight, assist our mourn. Help us to sigh and groan. Heavily, heavily. The graves yawn and yield your dead, till death be uttered. Heavily, heavily. Now unto thy bones good night. Yearly, I will do this right.
Come, let us hence, and put on other weeds, and then to Leonato's we will go.
Did I not tell you she was innocent?
So are the prince and Claudio, who accused her, upon the error that you heard debated. But Margaret was in some fault for this, although against her will, as it appears, in the true course of all question.
Well, I am glad that all things sort so well.
And so am I, being else by faith and forced to call young Claudio to a reckoning for it.
Well, daughter, and you gentle women all, Withdraw into a chamber by yourselves, and when I send for you, come hither masked. The prince and Claudio promised by this hour to visit me. You know your office, brother. You must be father to your brother's daughter and give her to young Claudio.
Which I will do with confirmed countenance.
Antonio, I must entreat your pains, I think.
To do what, senor?
To bind me or undo me, one of them. Signor Leonato, truth it is, good signor, your niece regards me with an eye of favor.
That I my daughter lent her, 'tis most true.
And I do with an eye of love requite her.
The sight whereof I think you had from me, from Claudio and the prince. But what's your will?
Your answer, sir, is enigmatical. But for my will is your good will may stand with ours this day to be conjoined, in the state of honorable marriage, in which, good my lord, I shall desire your help.
My heart is with your liking.
And my help. Here comes the prince and Claudio.
Good morrow to this fair assembly.
Good morrow, prince. Good morrow, Claudio. We here attend you. Are you yet determined today to marry with my brother's daughter?
I'll hold my mind were she any other.
I'll call her forth.
Good morrow, Benedick. Why, what's the matter that you have such a February face, so full of frost, of storm and cloudiness?
I think he thinks upon the savage bull.
And some such strange bull leaped your father's cow, and got a calf in that same noble feats. Much like to you, for you have just his bleat.
For this I owe you. Here comes other reckonings. Which is the lady I must seize upon?
This same is she, and I do give you her.
Why then she is mine. Sweet, let me see your face.
Know that you shall not till you take her hand before her father and swear to marry her.
Give me your hand. Before this aged lord, I am your husband, if you like of me.
And when I lived, I was your other wife. And when you loved, you were my other husband.
Another hero?
Nothing certainer. One hero died defiled, but I do live. And surely as I live, I am a maid.
The former hero? Hero that is dead.
She died, my lord, but whiles her slander lived.
All this amazement can I qualify. When after that the holy rites are ended, I'll tell you largely of fair hero's death. Meantime, let wonder seem familiar, and to the chapel, let us presently.
Soft and fair, which is Beatrice?
I answer to that name. What is your will?
Do not you love me?
Why, no. No more than reason.
Why, then your uncle and the prince and Claudio have been deceived. They swore you did.
Well, do not you love me?
Troth, no. No more than reason.
Oh, why then my cousin, Margaret and Ursula are much deceived, for they did swear you did.
They swore that you were almost sick for me.
They swore you were well nigh dead for me.
'Tis no such matter. Then you do not love me?
No, truly, but in friendly recompense.
Come, cousin, I am sure you love the gentleman.
I'll be sworn upon it that he loves her. For here is a paper written in his own hand, a halting sign of his pure brain fashioned to Beatrice?
Dude, what the f***?
Oh, and here's another. Written my cousin's hand, stolen from her pocket, containing her affection unto Benedick.
A miracle. Here's our own hands against our hearts. Come, I will have thee. But by this light I take thee for pity.
I would not deny you, but by this good day I yield upon great persuasion, and partly to save your life, for I was told you were in consumption.
Peace, I will stop your mouth.
How dost thou, Benedick, the married man?
In brief, since I do propose to marry, I will think nothing to any purpose that the world can say against it, and therefore never flout at me for what I have said against it. For man is a giddy thing, and this is my conclusion. For thy part, Claudio, I did think to have beaten thee, but in that thou art like to be my kinsman, live unbruised, and love my cousin.
Oh, I had well hoped thou wouldst have denied Beatrice that I might have cudgelled thee out of single life and make thee a double dealer, which out of question thou will be, if my cousin did not look exceedingly narrowly to thee.
Come, we are friends. Let's have a dance ere we are married, that we may lighten our own hearts and our wives' heels.
We'll have dancing afterward.
First of my word, therefore, play music, Prince. Thou art sad. Get thee a wife. Get thee a wife. Get thee a wife. Get
my lord, your brother John is taken in flight and brought back with armed men to Messina.
Think not on him till tomorrow. I'll devise thee brave punishments for him. Strike up, pipers! Woo!
Thank you for watching the Canmore Summer Theatre Festival's production of Much Ado About Nothing. If you like what you saw, please consider donating using the link below so that we can continue to create both live and digital theatre in our communities.